My boss refused to let me see my wife giving birth, and I hugged him saying thank you. Miranda's contractions were 8 minutes apart when she called me at 2:14 p.m., saying I needed to get to the hospital now. I grabbed my keys and laptop when my manager Dominic intercepted me at the elevator. The Thornton presentation started in 15 minutes, and they'd specifically requested me as lead. $2 million contract on the line. Dominic's face was stone, but something flickered in his eyes when I explained about Miranda. Get Johnson to cover. My wife is having our baby. I jabbed the elevator button repeatedly. Dominic shook his head, said Thornton would walk if I didn't show. The whole team's quarterly bonus depended on this deal. He promised it would be quick, 2 hours maximum. Miranda's labor with her first kid took 14 hours, so I'd have plenty of time. The lies started immediately. Thornton had brought his entire team instead of just 2 people. The conference room filled with executives asking detailed questions about implementation timelines and resource allocation. My phone buzzed constantly in my pocket. 7 minutes apart, 6 minutes, 5. I started speaking faster to push through slides, cut short my usual explanations, and skip the interactive demos. Thornton's team looked confused at the rushed pace, but I powered through. When they asked questions, I gave quick answers instead of my usual detailed responses. Dominic kept trying to elaborate, but I cut him off, frustrated, and still having no idea that being kept here was the best thing that would ever happen to me. I flipped through 3 slides at once. By 4 p.m., the contractions were 3 minutes apart according to Miranda's texts. She was begging me to come. Her sister was driving from 2 hours away, but might not make it. I tried wrapping up, but Thornton's CFO had concerns about the payment structure. Dominic kept the discussion going whenever I tried to exit. We need to address every concern today or they walk, Dominic whispered during the break. When I told him my wife was literally in labor, he placed his hand on my shoulder and said, I know, please just trust me. I was confused. Did he know something about my wife's labor that I didn't? Either way, right after break I made a decision. Started agreeing to every demand Thornton's team made. Cut our profit margin to close faster. Threw in free implementation hours. Whatever it took to get signatures now. Dominic's eyes widened, but I didn't care. If you sign today, we'll include the platinum package, usually 50,000 extra. I slid the contract across the table. Thornton's team exchanged looks. They knew I was desperate but couldn't resist the deals. Started signing pages while their lawyer scrambled to document the new terms. I paced by the window watching traffic build on the highway, calculating drive times to the hospital. At 5:23 p.m., Miranda stopped texting. The silence was worse than the constant messages. Either she was too far into labor or something had gone wrong. Dominic kept peering into my phone like he was looking for something. My hands shook signing signature pages while Thornton's lawyer explained terms I wasn't processing. I texted Miranda's sister asking for updates. Nothing. Called the hospital, but they couldn't give information over the phone. Started making mistakes on the paperwork. Wrong dates, illegible signatures, had to redo pages while precious minutes ticked by. Dominic noticed my panic and took over the presentation. Smoothly handled objections while I sat there imagining Miranda alone in delivery. The baby coming too fast. Complications from being premature. All the things that could go wrong without me there to make decisions. Just need these last forms notarized. Thornton's lawyer pulled out more documents. I lost it. I slammed my hand on the table and said we could handle notaries tomorrow. My wife is having our baby right now. Thornton himself stood up and told his team they had enough for today. Shook my hand and said, family comes first. Dominic went pale, trying to interrupt with technicalities like he was deliberately trying to stop me from leaving. But why would he want me to show up late to the birth of my own child? 6:47 p.m. was when we finally closed the deal. Thornton's team wanted to celebrate, but I was already running for the door. Dominic caught up in the parking garage and insisted on driving me. Said I was too emotional to drive safely. I was too desperate to argue. The drive took 23 minutes in rush hour traffic. Dominic kept making wrong turns that added time. Missed the hospital exit and had to circle back. Found the furthest parking spot from the entrance. Each delay felt deliberate, like he was doing this on purpose. Just drop me at emergency. I grabbed for the wheel. Construction. Have to go around. Dominic stayed maddeningly calm. I tried calling Miranda again. Straight to voicemail. Her sister finally texted back. At hospital. Baby coming fast. Complications. That single word made me physically sick. I demanded Dominic let me out so I could run. He ignored me and kept driving slowly. I finally bailed out at a stop sign and ran. I sprinted through the hospital entrance. Took stairs instead of waiting for elevators. Burst through security doors setting off alarms. Labor and delivery wing was chaos when I arrived at 7:19 p.m. Nurses were rushing past with equipment. Monitors beeping. I gave Miranda's name at the desk and the nurse's expression changed. She called for a doctor who appeared within seconds. We need to talk about your wife's delivery. Full story on channel linked below.